All indications coming out of Alabama's second scrimmage on Saturday is that the Tide is ready to roll. However, there was one big concern that Alabama fans are familiar with. Stick around. Let's talk about it. This is Way Offsides. 3, 2, let's go. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever the case may be. Welcome in to Way Offsides, your favorite Tide content on YouTube. That's right, baby. We are very close to the season starting, and there is a ton to talk about, from scrimmages to recruiting to analysis of games. The best way to keep track of everything is just to go ahead, subscribe. Once you subscribe, hit the notification bell, leave a thumbs up on this video, and leave a comment down there below. Let me know which position group you're most excited to see roll this fall. The season is 12 days away, and Alabama just finished up its second scrimmage. Some notes coming out of that scrimmage, a couple of things right off the bat that we've already talked about, but we'll hit on them again before we get to the meaty stuff. Is that first and foremost, Alabama head coach Kalen DeBoer said that he moved the practice from earlier in the day to later in the day to kind of simulate weather concerns that they have down in Tallahassee. He did not use the word concern. That is me using it, and I'm not using it in a sense that they're concerned about the weather. They just wanted to replicate the heat and humidity as much as possible. As well, you all know at this point, Jam Miller got banged up. Jaden Roberts was out with a concussion, and James Smith did not scrimmage. So those are three injury updates coming out of scrimmage. In terms of what happened on the field, we'll start with special teams. We did a video on this. Connor Talty was, I think, one of three on the day. Kalen DeBoer, that's what I'm hearing. Kalen DeBoer talked to the place kicking and mentioned that Talty has been solid in practice. He's been working very, 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 very hard. However, it just did not show in the scrimmage. So we'll see what that looks like as the season goes on. I know to some people it's been kind of like a running joke, but to others they're actually concerned about the kicking game. Completely understand your concern, especially when Bama just had, is coming off a guy like Will Reichert. In terms of QBs, obviously Ty Simpson is named the starter for FSU. Ty had a day. He was 15 of 16, it sounds like. Went for 165 yards, one passing touchdown. Had another passing touchdown that apparently was dropped. I don't know who dropped it, to be honest, but listen to some other folks like Smook. It could have been Cole Adams. So take that for what you will. Obviously, the wide receivers are as hype as we expect them to be. And Ty apparently had a long rushing touchdown on the ground. Very consistent play from Ty Simpson, as has been since spring. That's what the coaches are most excited about. And don't forget that Ty is a dual threat quarterback. Coming out of high school, he was labeled a dual threat quarterback, 5-star recruit. And so Ty can make you pay on the ground too. He's quick. What'll be interesting is something I've noticed with Ty Simpson as he's played in mop-up duty is he has a tendency to kind of trip sometimes. I wonder if his brain is moving faster than his legs. So we'll see how that works out with Ty starting. But it looks like the rapport he has with the receivers is paying off. Obviously, Alabama's receiving core is one of the most gifted in the country. So if Ty goes out against FSU and has the kind of performance that he's having in scrimmage, Alabama should be just fine. Also, some news via Kyle Henderson. He was talking about this. Jalen Hell looks pretty solid, looks good, which is great. Him coming back from that very, very significant injury. I'm really hype about Jalen Hell. I've done several videos about the kid and what he brings to this offense, especially when you're looking at the different kind of receiving options that Ty Simpson will have. You've got showstoppers, you've got size, you've got speed, you've got guys who are crisp route runners. Alabama's wide receiving core is diverse, it's multifaceted, and it should scare a lot of people. It's going to be hard to lock all these guys down. Assuming the offensive line gives him time, Ty Simpson could sit back there and pick people apart. And that's what you want. That's what Bama wants at the quarterback position. So that's very, very exciting. Offensively, Alabama ran the ball okay. The offensive line did a good job. Obviously, like I said, you lose Jam Miller, but Bama's Again, blessed, very, very blessed at that running back position. You've got Richard Young, Dre Washington, Daniel Hill, and AK Deer back there, who one of those guys will take the carries. I think it'll be Richard Young. I just did a whole video about that. Be sure to check it out when you're done here. Either way, Alabama they're multifaceted back there too. Very similar to how they are at the wide receiver position. There's a lot of different options, a lot of different sizes, a lot of different styles in the running back room. So they can try things out and see what's the best option, what's the best fit per the situation. So now there's the offense. Now the defensive side of the ball, this is something that we all expect this defense to be great. The expectation for Alabama's defense going into 2025 is through the roof. Josh Pate was at the scrimmage, and Pate was extremely impressed with the secondary. He talked to that on his show. He discussed that even the twos that were getting in, there's no talent drop off. There is no talent drop off. Dijon Lee's working with the ones. That guy looks like he's in his fourth year. It's again, freak of nature. Bama seems to have several of those this year. And then you're returning so much seniority and depth in the secondary, and they're well coached, man. Coach Linguist is one of the best to do it in the country. And so Bray Hubbard had an outstanding season last year. Keon Sabb is going to be back. Damani Jackson, of course, Avian Brown. It's just the secondary is just very wealthy at Alabama, and it should be. It absolutely should be. That is a staple of Alabama football. I think Bama has a pretty storied history, especially recently under Nick Saban, of very good DBs going into the league, and they're going to send a few more after this season. The defense looks solid all the way around. Linebackers played really, really well. Henderson said that Deontay Lawson got a really good lick on somebody during the scrimmage. I think hopefully it wasn't Jam Miller, but we'll see. Dijon Lee he's turning a lot of heads. There's you can't say enough good things about him. Now, the big concern with the defense has been the pass rush. We've talked about this in the offseason. The pass rush last season was lackluster. Not to say that they did not get pressure, but a lot of times they didn't get home and finish. That seemed to have been the case at the scrimmage from what I'm hearing. But there's two ways of looking at that. And so a lot of folks are going to get frustrated with that news, with that report, that the pass rush was just kind of meh. But you have to understand this is probably one of the best offensive lines in college football this year, I think, all the way around, especially on the left side of the line. But in terms of pass rush, Noah Carter was a big bright spot. It sounds like obviously Justin Jefferson was somebody who was kind of highlighted a little bit. I've been saying it for months that when Justin Jefferson was on the field last year, the pass rush looked different. It looked a little more aggressive, especially in that Tennessee game before he got hurt. So I feel okay. I feel okay about it. Alabama's offensive line, all indications are that they are as advertised. So if that's the case, it could be a positive for Alabama in the sense that Bama's offensive line is just that good, or it could be a negative for Alabama in the sense that Bama's defensive line is just not getting home. So we'll see. Alabama needs to continue developing, continue with that rotation, working on stopping the run. We all know that they were susceptible to that, especially on the inside between the tackles last year. So I feel like Bama's going to do a good job in that sense. So tell me what you think below. Thanks for sticking around with me. You guys are the absolute best. As always, say your prayers, read your Bibles, wash your hands. Horns down, beat Auburn and LSU and Tennessee too. Roll Tide.